Okay, so here we are one more time. So what I've kind of done now since the last round is I've taken drilled holes up here for each uniseal and the actual riser, I guess manifold, however, whatever it is you'd like to call it. And down inside you can see they come through and head on in. The bulkhead's not in yet. Like I said in the last video, I gotta wait until it's done this through the night, so I gotta wait for hours, actual business hours, so I can get that part. But so anyways, so what I did is what I do to find center is I take, hold on, let me dump all this crud out. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so what I do to find center is we know that this right here is center, and that right there is center, and then realistically that dimple and that dimple is center. So what I do is on the outside I make a mark here. I did this on my other lid, so I don't have the marks on this one. But right where that is, I mark it there. I mark it there, and I mark it there. And then that way, when I set it up on the lid on the top, see, hold on, I'm kind of doing this with but I set it up to where, if you see, like now that lines up with that uniseal, this dimple here up top lines up with that uniseal, and such. And so that way you can kind of spin the thing rather than just having it straight up, so you get the backwards vortex working. So that's kind of how I do that without being mathematics and trying to get it and this and that. That's just easiest for me. Okay, so then I put a couple of pieces of blue tape so I don't scratch the living snot out of it, and I can mark on it, my blue tape down here. I just tape that on, up on behind there. I mark that here, and then I come down from the rim 3 inches across the way and make my mark, and that's where I drill a hole. The hole for a 1-inch uniseal is 1 3/4 inches. So I drill 1 3/4 inch hole saw through the hole right here and pop in the uniseals. Bing bang, all 4 of them, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. So that takes care of that part. Then you saw these pieces here when they were down on the table. I just kind of get them all wet and then stuff them through, and that makes a seal. Now really it's below water, or this is pretty much above water line, so it doesn't have to be, oh my word, watertight, but they are. I use these in other situations where they're below water line down here, and they totally hold. So that's that. Let's see. Okay, so when I put it all together, as you can see here, what I did with that block is I put that block in, and that kind of sits here like that. That's my template, see? So I can get the right vortex back up and get it right up to my other pieces. And so I cut that out of 15 on a miter saw, but when it's at that angle headed up, it's a 75. So that's the angle of the risers. Now, inside this piece here, I've got it turned counterclockwise just a little bit because it's leaned over, not actually on the center. And so to make my hose and everything kind of line up right, I point it back counterclockwise just about 5 degrees, not much, just to where this kind of points back to the center. And then that way when it's all sitting in here, it all sits, and it sits nice and neatly all the way around at a nice pretty even level level area. So that's kind of how that works. Then so I don't have a problem with siphon or anti-siphon. What I do is I come around to all those pieces, and we saw that manifold made before, and so my supply line then comes up from there. I have it come up and then into the handle. I've drilled a couple of holes there. They're just over 3/8. So then I just run my supply line up and over, and then if it ever shuts down or anything happens, you know, I've got an anti-siphon. So that's that. Other than that, I think we're pretty much a done deal. I'll get you back here soon for another video, and we will actually, I'll show you how this bad boy works. The first one worked like a champ, but I think this one might work better because I have the air coming in here, where before I had the air coming in down here. Now I don't necessarily know that I had a problem because the vortex was still rocking, but I just feel that I have no way of getting any air back up the way just by feed when it comes down the vortex, because that vortex going down in there a ways. I don't know if there's air going back up and blurping, but this way here now, there's no way for that to happen. So that's what I've done. Again, that's pretty much it. I've put a list, or I'll get a list here. Hold on, I'll get my list. It's right here. Here's my list, and here's my little pretty crude, there's my list, and I got all this stuff from just Home Depot, nothing special. The only thing that's not on there is I don't have the pump, and glue. I guess I don't have any, you know, glue or the Teflon tape, those things. I just kind of, you know, you probably have that stuff for DIY and anyways. And then this here is kind of the drawings of what goes where, pieces, the 2 inches and the 3 inches and the 8.5 inch pipe and so on and so forth. And it's all pretty much labeled, and the videos go through the actual placement of them, but these give you corresponding numbers as per what the piece is, where the piece is. So I think it's self-explanatory. If not, you guys can get back to me, man, and I will gladly walk you through anything that is not crystal clear, or maybe even muddy clear, but clear enough that you can figure it out. So all right, guys, again, man, I hope this is helping you guys in your grows and in your, you know, in your DIY projects. I'll do more. I'm always fiddling with something, so I may even take you inside and let you guys see a little bit of something on kind of how things go. I guess maybe a quick little preview. We'll take you into the water station, which is pretty intense for a little guy like me.